Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great and you're all having a great day, a great time. So I've had a lot of people ask me questions about how I passed my GPHC exam the second time, what I did differently to pass my GPHC exam, what was the process like, what was different from the previous one. If you would like to know more about what I did differently this time to pass my exam, keep watching and make sure you watch this video up all the way to the end. If you're new, my name is Esther. I'm a qualified pharmacist working in UK, London to be precise. I work in a community setting as a local pharmacist, so I just go up and down, and I share pharmacy related content, my journey to becoming a pharmacist. I also share some educational content and a little snippet of my lifestyle as well. So if you are new, welcome, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so, and also share with your friends and switch on your notification bell so you can always get notified whenever I upload a new video. So guys, let's go straight into it. I think when I failed my exam, to just give a little bit of a background for those that don't know, that I had to sit my exam twice and don't know what I mean by exam or what exam I'm talking about. So for context reason, in UK, if you're going to become a pharmacist, after you do your 4 or 5 years of university, you have to do like a 1-year training, and at the end of that 1-year training, which is like an internship sort of thing, you have to sit a national qualification exam, which is called the GPHC exam. And then it is only then, when you pass that exam, that is when you can practice as a qualified pharmacist in the UK. If you don't pass that exam, you're not allowed to practice. Until you pass that exam, that is the only time you're allowed to practice in the UK. So I sat the exam in June and I failed woefully. I would say I failed mainly because of my calculation, but I wasn't too far off on my clinical as well. And if I'm not the lowest scored grade of calculation in June, I doubt it, because I scored 9 out of 40 in my calculation exams. I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I scored 9 out of 40, and you need like 23 or 24 to pass. So if you got 9 out of it, automatically you fail. So I had to resist the exam. The main things I did to resist the exam and to do better the second time for the exam was I did the 3 halves. And what are these 3 halves? The first thing I did was to actually relax. I just relaxed. I spent time with friends, spent time with family, did all the fun stuff, watched a lot of movies. Like, I was just living life as if there was no tomorrow. I was just enjoying myself, and that's just because while the journey through to the place from university and everything like that, I hardly had time for myself. I hardly had time for playtime and things like that. So the first thing I did for myself, which I think really helped me in the long run, was to just relax and not go straight into the books. I just took some time off, revision, closed all my books, everything. I didn't even worry about when I want to start revising, what did I do wrong in the exam. I just relaxed, just enjoyed myself, spent time, did a lot of events, went with families and friends. We really enjoyed ourselves, enjoyed my graduation and everything. So that was something I really did. And the importance of this is that it just takes your mindset off that exam mode. It takes your mindset off that, oh, I have failed, what next? You don't have to think about what next straight away. If you think straight away, oh, what I want to do next, I want to go straight into it. So you don't always get the solution to that problem sometimes. So it's best to just take a breather, take a back seat, relax, do something else entirely from what that problem is at the moment, and just enjoy yourself. I knew that I had like some time before my exam in November, so I just look at the time frame. I said, you know what, let me just relax for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'll sort of re-strategize and what I wanted to do. Then I move on to reflect, which is my second half. Then I started reflecting about the exam season. I had to reflect on my state of mind for the exam, and I knew I had a lot of my mindset was not in the right place during that whole period year. If you can watch my past videos where I talked about the pre-reg saga, the whole traumatic experience, the whole stress and mental breakdown with that pre-reg thing. So I wasn't in the right state of mind. All I wanted to do was to just get out of it and just be done with it. So I had to reflect on that. I knew that I was in the right state of mind through my reflection. I knew that I did not revise as much as I would have done thinking of me at university. And I also knew that I did not revise in my own way of learning. I had to start implementing other people's thoughts and points of views of how they revise to pass, not what works for me. I started doing what works for other people, and that didn't help me. So I was able to realize this through my reflection. I also knew that I was going through some emotional roller coaster around that time, and I had to really reflect to myself that I need to let go of this emotional breakdown. I don't want this because I need to pass my exam. The goal is to pass my exam. So that is what I did through my reflection. Through this reflection and knowing all these things, I was able to know things I need to cut out of my life, some people I need to cut out of my life, to just focus on this exam and make sure that this exam is my priority. Then my third R was to re-strategize. So what did I do at university that was different? Which is something that I did from my reflection. And I knew that what I did at university that was different from now was that at university, I am an advocate for past papers. I go through lots of past papers, lots of past paper questions, revision questions, test myself, examine myself as much as I can for me to be able to pass and succeed in the exam. I'm not saying going through content is a waste of time, because you still have to go through content, but the way it works for me is like, it's sort of like an active recall or active way of learning, where even though I'm learning something, I have to sort of test myself to know if I know that thing. So going through past papers sort of helped me to actually learn more than just going through the content without questioning or testing myself. So that was what I did to re-strategize. So I knew that, okay, I have to go through past papers. Then what I did was I gathered all the past papers I could get my hands on, from the easiest to the most difficult past papers. And looking at the June exam, I knew that the calculation exam was so difficult, but reflecting back on it now, I felt like the simplest thing, like approximating to the nearest 0.5, I never knew how to do that in June, but I knew that I had to learn that. I knew that that was my priority and something I need to learn for November, because I noticed that most of their questions in calculation, they're always asking you to approximate your answers to the nearest this, to the nearest 1000, to the nearest 0.5, to the nearest 0.2, which is silly, but you have to learn. And it's so easy that I did not even know how to do that. So I knew that, okay, I need to learn that, and that is something I need to learn through practice and things. So that was one of the things I did. Second of all, I knew that there is no point of me spending all day, the whole 24 hours of my time studying, because I knew I only have a short attention span and I can't do that. So what I do is that I plan my studying to like sections and in like time blocking, which I don't know if I want to do a video on time blocking. I can do that, but I do something like time blocking where I just say, okay, between now and the next 4 hours, I'm just focusing on calculation questions, and then I go through all of the calculation questions, and then whatever I get wrong, I review it, and if I don't understand, I ask my friends. So I knew that, okay, I need to do that. Time blocking was something I did in my Restrategy. Going through past paper question was something I did for Restrategize. Other things that I did when I Restrategized was that I had to find a go back to my study groups. One thing that I did not do in June is, of course, I had these study groups that we've been like partners since university, so we are all in the same car, we are all sitting this exam together. I did not study much with study groups. I just thought I needed some time myself, which I would sort of lead it to the emotional, the emotional breakdown I had, because I just wanted to be by myself. I just wanted to be in my own world. But this time I knew that I can't do this by myself. I needed help, and I had to not feel that pride that I don't want to ask beforehand. They're going to feel like I'm stupid if I ask silly questions. But no question is silly if you're in a study group. So I had to make sure that I went back to my study group, and we studied together every day on a daily basis at night time from 8 to 10. Sometimes it extends to 12 a.m. in the morning. We go through like past paper questions on the topics, like the high weighted topics. Like we could decide to do GI today and do cardiovascular questions tomorrow, and we go through past paper questions, put the answers. If we get it wrong, we all research about the answers and see what we could do better about and how we could learn from it. And that way it stuck so much on my head more by studying with them than me studying by myself, because things that I get wrong, they will tell me the correct answer, and things that they get wrong, I'll tell them the correct answer. So it sort of works that way, and we're able to work together. Even sometimes if we can't meet up on a call, like on FaceTime call, we just message each other. We have like group chats that we message each other and say, oh, can somebody solve this question, and send, and we just literally solve the questions and send answers to each other while we are doing our other task of the day. So that was my 3 hours as to how I was able to pass my exam the second time. What this did for me is that when I got into the exam on that same day, of course I had a bit of like some anxiety issues where I was worried that, oh my god, this is what I want this to be my last try. But what I did was that I had to set up my mind and make sure my mind is in a positive state. I went into the exam of feeling positive that I have prepared, and I have prepared enough. I can't prepare more than what I have prepared. Whatever happens that day is left to God to take the wheel. And I went into the exam, or I saw my calculation questions. I was so happy. I was so happy that I could actually solve questions. I knew that what I did differently really worked, because I went to the exam, I loved the papers, both clinical and calculations, and when I got my results, I passed my exam in flying colors. And I'm just like, what God cannot do does not exist. But sometimes you also need to work on yourself and see what you, and just reflect on what you did that you could do better and things that you could improve on. And so those are the 3 hours that I did to actually pass my GPHC exam the second time. So guys, I hope you've been able to learn more things. Even though I use this for my GPHC exam, this is something that you can implement in your studies, even though you are still at university or you're trying to do your GCSEs, your A-levels. These tips really helped me, and it's something that you can really benefit from. One tip I'll always say, there's a lot of things that you can always learn online. This is how I do this is how, so many people say things online, but trust me, you need to find what works for you. You need to reflect, have that internal reflection on yourself and see what works for you. So guys, I hope you've been able to learn 1 or 2 things from this video. Don't forget to relax, reflect, and re-strategize. Those were my 3 steps as to what I did to actually pass my exam the second time. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you love this video, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, like this video, like I said, share with your friend, and also subscribe to my channel so you can always get notified whenever I upload a new video. With that being said, goodbye. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.